Padma, could you please give a sharing option to
You gave the access.
Thank you, Padma. Yesterday we discussed data types in Java, and later we discussed variable concept. And inside variables, we discussed several types. In that, we discussed global variable, non-static variable. Yesterday, I forgot to tell one term for non-static variable. We can call that non-static variable instance variable also. Later, we moved to methods concept and we discussed methods. Inside that method, we discussed static methods and non-static methods. Non-static methods, we can call it as instance method also. Yeah, so with that, we stopped yesterday session. So today we'll start constructors topic. So constructor also same. It's a constructors also similar to methods, but it's kind of special methods. So how constructor special methods? I'll write one program and I'll show you so that you people will understand better. So how we will write methods? So in order to access this method, what we need to do? Please respond. In order to access this method, what we need to do?
We have to call it in the main function.
Yeah, we need to create an object. Why? Because it's instance method, right? We need to create an object. And we need to call. I'll execute this. The method got executed. We are able to access instance method. Now, so what I have said, methods means like methods are blocks where programmer will write some logics to perform some function. Similarly, constructors also same. Constructors are special methods where programmer will write some logics to perform some functionality. Then what is the difference between both methods and constructors? So similarly, constructors means access modifier, public, and I'm giving constructor. Now I'll execute this. See, construct, we are able to access constructor. Did I call constructor here anywhere? Right here, if you see, only I called method, but I haven't called constructor anywhere. If you see here, then why it's invoking? Why we are able to see a constructor here, like in console? That is the special behavior of constructor. Even though if we do not call, still this will execute when we create object. Okay. See here, if you see constructor example here, you can see, right? So this we will call it as constructor actually. When we create object, right? when we create object, automatically constructor will create inside the class. That particular constructor we can call it as default constructor. For example, here I haven't created any constructor. Still, JVM will create constructor inside the dot class file actually. So when we compile this particular Java file, right, one dot class file will generate. In that file, we can see this particular default constructor will generate. Okay, so here we cannot see, but in dot class file we can see that constructor. We can call it as default constructor. When programmer will mention explicitly like this, then we can call this particular constructor as explicit constructor or zero parameterized constructor. Okay, now what is the difference between constructor and methods? Methods, programmer can access methods with the help of object. After creating object, programmer needs to call that particular methods explicitly. Then only programmer can access that particular code which are kept in the method. Whereas constructor, no need to call. Like when we create object, right, automatically constructor will invoke and it will execute. Okay, so as I'm commenting this. Now we'll see what output will comes. See, did I call constructor anywhere? No, still it is executing. Why? Because when we create object, right, constructor will invoke. That's the reason we are saying this particular constructor as special method. It is also similar to method, but it will like invoke when programmer will create object. Okay, we have like default constructor, parameterized constructor, non-parameterized constructor. So default constructor, even though if programmer will not create, JVM will create in dot class file. Whereas zero parameterized constructor, programmer needs to create explicitly like this. And constructor name and class name should be same. If you see here, method name, we have given our own name based on the requirement or feature. We have given method name by our own. Whereas, but in case of constructor, not like that. We need to follow few rules, constructor rules. Here, constructor rules means class name and constructor name should be same. And there is no return type. If you see, this void is return type here, but here we haven't kept any return type. So anyone have any questions in constructor? People are clear what is the difference between method and constructor?
Yes, Pankaj.
Yeah. Now, what is parameterized constructor? For example, if you want to, for example, here I am giving some int a, and we want to give parameterization when object will create. For example, if you see, when I have given int a here, see here we are getting. If you see, add arguments to match constructor. So here we have given integer, right? So we need to give some integer value. Then only this particular constructor will invoke. So this constructor, we can call it as parameterized constructor. And if we do not give anything inside this parenthesis, then we can call this particular constructor as non-parameterized constructor or zero parameterized constructor. So based on programmer requirement, he can take values. Like if he needs parameterized, he can take, or if he needs non-parameterized constructor, he can take. So mostly in our testing, in automation framework, when we synchronize with database, at that time we'll use this constructor. Apart from that, we nowhere will use constructor concept in our automation framework. So just we need to understand what is my constructor and what is the difference between constructor and methods. So you people are clear right now? Difference between constructor and method, and when method will call and when constructor will invoke.
Yes.
Yeah. Now access modifiers in Java. So we have like 4 types of access modifiers in Java. One is public, another one is private, another one is protected, another one is default. What is the use of access modifiers in Java? So we need to give scope to our variables. We need to give scope to our methods. And we need to give scope to like variables and class members. Actually we can variables and methods, we can call it as class members. We need to give scope to our class members. For that purpose we use access modifiers in Java. So we have like 4 types. One is public, another one is private, protected, default. So we'll see like for public how much scope, and for private how much scope, and for protected how much scope, and for default how much scope, with the help of program. So this is one class. Okay, here I am writing one variable and creating one method also. In order to access this instance variable and instance method, what we need to do? We need to create object. Call it. When I execute this, you can see 10.9 method. So this both instance method and instance variable executed. Now I'll apply access modifiers this class variable and class method. So here I'm giving public first. See, if I give public access modifier to variable and method, am I able to access inside the method? Sorry, inside the class? Yes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we give public access modifier to variable and method, right, we can access inside the class everywhere inside the class. I'm saying. Now we'll see. I'll create one more class here. Inside the package, another class I have created. Now see, this is my main class. Here I have like declared this variable and method, and this is another class, but I have given access modifier public. Am I able to access outside the class or not?
Yes, Parashma.
So I'm not getting any errors, right? So I'm able to access outside the class also. Within the package, same class we can access. Outside the class also we can access. Now I will create one package. Package name always starts with lower alphabets. Last name always starts with uppercase. So this is different package, and here I have created one class inside this package too. Now what I will do, I'll try to access this variable and method outside the package now. Am I able to access outside the package also or not?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I'll execute. See, I'm not getting any errors. So if variable consist access modifier public or method consist access modifier public, we can access inside the class. I mean that particular variable scope is inside the class, outside the class also with same package, or outside another package also. If we declare variables with public access modifier, then we can access inside the class, outside the package also. For that particular variable and method scope, outside package also. Okay. Now we'll see for private. So everyone understood, right? Public access modifier.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I will give private. See, am I able to access inside the class or not? Private variable and private method.
Yes.
Yes. Now I'll move to another class. Now see, I'm getting errors. If I mouse over on this error, see, change visibility of A2 package. Something it's showing. Why? Because for private access modifier, I mean the visibility of private variables and methods within the class only. That restrict within the class only. We cannot access outside the class. Why? Because we are getting errors now. And we'll see now outside. See, we are unable to access outside the class. Is it possible to access outside the package? Never. See, here also we will get same error. Visibility error. See. So with this, what we can conclude, private access modifiers, visibility, I mean private variables and private methods, visibility is restricted to within the class only. We cannot access outside the class. We cannot access outside the package also. Everyone understand, right?
Yes. Yes, it is clear.
Clear. Now we'll see default. Default means no access modifier name. Now we'll see scope of like default access modifiers. So I've removed, see here I've given, for example, if here there is no, nothing means we can assume like this is default access modifier. Okay. Now we'll see scope of this default access modifier. So we can access inside the class or not. Yes, because we are not getting any errors. Now we'll go to another class, but in the same package. See here also, let me execute and show. So I'm able to execute. So we can access default variables and default methods outside the class or not, but same package. Outside the class here. So actually here I have declared this default variable and default method, and I'm able to access inside the class. Now I am moving to outside the class, but same package. Here I'm trying to access this variable and method. So I'm able to access, right? Not getting any errors.
Yes.
Default variable and default methods we can access outside the class also. Now we'll see outside the package, is it possible to access? Now I'm moving to another package. See, I'm getting some errors. See, I'm getting some errors, right? So with this, what we can conclude, default constructors is restricted to only within the package. We cannot access outside the package. Within the package, we can access anywhere. Like for example, in this like 5 classes, we can access all the 5 classes if required. But if we move to outside of the package, we cannot access default variables and default methods. Now we'll see protected. You understood, right? What is now default access modifier? Everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Now we'll see protected. See, I have given protected, so I'm not getting any error. This means I can access within the class, right? Protected variable and protected method. Now I will move to another class, but within the same package. I'll try to execute. See, here also I'm not getting an error. I'm able to execute properly. So protected also we can access within the package. Scope of the protected variable and methods within the package. Within the package. It's similar to default. Now we'll move to another package. We'll see. We are getting some errors. So with this, what we can conclude? We cannot access protected variable and protected methods outside the package. Even default also same, right? Please respond. Default also same, right? Default access modifiers we accessed within the class, outside the class, but within the same package. When we move to another package and we try to access default access modifier, I mean default variables and default methods. So we got errors or not?
Yes, we got the
Yes.
error.
Now protected also we are getting same. Then what is the difference between protected and default access modifier? We have different. See, now what I will do, I'll create another class here, or what I will do, I'll extend this constructor example. I'll tell you why I am extending this. See, now errors gone. What I have did, right? So we cannot access in the main class, but in subclass, right? We can access protected variables and protected methods. Here again, what is in a subclass we'll discuss after this. So default construct, for example, if I'll give now default here, remove this. See, I'm getting error. See what it's saying, change visibility of A to protected. And here also I'm getting same. Okay. So what is the difference between default and protected? So default, we can access within the package anywhere. Within the package, within the class we can access, within the package we can access. Protected also same. We can access within the class, we can access within the package. Outside of the package also we can access, but we in the subclasses only we can access. So I'll tell you what is like subclasses concept. Okay, but as of now, remember protected methods and protected variables we can access outside of the package also, but within the subclass only we can access. See, now error gone. So these are the 4 access modifiers. So anyone have any questions?
No.
No, no questions.
Understood, right? Everyone clear, right? All
Yes.
4?
Yes.
Yeah. So public, we can access inside the class, inside the package, outside the package also. Whereas private, only we can access inside the class. Default, we can access inside the class, inside the package. We cannot access outside the package. Whereas protected, we can access inside the class, inside the package, outside the package also, but within the subclass only. So this is the conclusion for access modifiers. Now we'll move to this inheritance concept. Okay, I'll cover this concept alone today. So what is meant by inheritance? I'll create one class. For example, here we have so these are 3 instance methods. So I want to access these 3 methods. What we need to do? Please respond. What we need to do? We need to create object. See, I'm able to access. Yeah, I'll execute this program now. See, I'm able to access all 3 methods. Now I'll create another class. Now, see, I've created one class and I've created few methods. I've written like I've implemented that particular methods and I called and I'm able to execute. Now I've created another class. Here I've like created few more methods, but here my requirement, I need to use these 3 methods also. So here I'm creating one Java application. For this application, I need these 3 methods also. At that time, do I need to write all these 3 methods here also?
No need.
No.
We can write, but no need. Why? Because we have one concept in Java, that is inheritance concept. So whatever like methods, variables we declare in one class, right? We can access that particular variables method into another class based on programmer requirement. Okay, the definition of inheritance is like acquiring parent properties into child class. Acquiring parent class properties into child class is called inheritance, or acquiring parent class properties into subclass, also called inheritance. Now how we will access these 3 methods in this class? with the help of extends keyword. Now, so I need to access these three methods. So in order to access these three methods, what we need to do, we need to create object for this class. Why? Because these are instance methods. Now, see, am I able to access all 6 methods or not? Yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the main aim of inheritance is like code reusability. We can reuse the methods based on like our requirement. So that's the reason this inheritance concept came into picture in Java. So like this, we can I'm able to execute all the methods now. So this is inheritance concept in Java. So when I thought like that protected, right? At that time I used subclass concept. Now this inheritance example 2 is a subclass for inheritance example 1. Why? Because we are extending this class here. At that time, this is the subclass. This is the super class also we can call, or this is the parent class, or this is the child class also we can call. So this is the inheritance concept. We have like single inheritance, multi-level inheritance like that we have, but no need for testing perspective. If you know this, then fine. But if you want to practice, I have like here mentioned programs. Please practice. Here I have given all concepts like single inheritance, multi-level inheritance. Okay. So this is inheritance concept. Anyone have any questions in this?
No.
Yeah. So we have a small concept like conditional statement and looping statements, jumping statements. Do you want me to continue? It won't take much time. Please respond. Do you want me to continue?
Or maybe we can do tomorrow. Like
Tomorrow. Yeah.
rest
Tomorrow.
also.
No problem. Yeah, no problem. But what I have done, right? Yeah, okay. We will discuss tomorrow. Here I have mentioned programs for that. See, leave these programs alone and please remaining complete it today. Okay. After this session, I'll share this document with you. Please like try to write programs for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just give them the number mostly, like 7 to 10, something like that. Then
Sure,
That's
Anu,
the
I'll
best.
mention.
Yeah.
I'll mention.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Okay.